Hi guys, Peter Finch here and I'm joined by Karl Morris at Stockport Golf Club, and in this video we are going to be talking about the truth of good putters and the questions that you need to be asking within your game.
It's what you're doing, making me feel like I'm falling. And when you're moving, I can hear my calling. There's no one else here that I see but you. It's what you're doing that's making me feel like I'm falling.
Guys, remember to like that video and comment below 2 questions for a chance to win a copy of the book that Karl has very kindly donated. If you do want to binge watch this series as well, you can click this link for the playlist or go into the description below and all those videos are available to watch right now. So it is time to talk through what are good questions and what are bad questions in the golfing sense. Although we could just talk about good questions and bad questions if you really wanted to, Karl, but we'll stick to golf for now. And this is something which I'm really keen for you guys to understand, because this is something that I see as a coach and it's something that I see so much within my own game about asking good questions. So just talk us through the principle of this.
I think the key thing, Pete, with questions is the understanding that in the battle for attention, questions are your biggest weapon. Because questions will focus your attention. For everybody watching this now, if I just said to you, as you're watching this video, what can you hear in the background? All of a sudden your attention will probably go from the video to what's going on around you. And the point is, I heard many years ago in a seminar, a guy called Tony Robbins, he said the quality of your life will be determined by the quality of your questions. And I really had no idea how important that statement was at that time, but I do now. And in the main, golfers ask dreadful questions.
Awful.
You know, the classic one, you see them on the tee there, you know, where's the trouble here? You know, you think, well, what's that getting your attention on? You know, on the putting green, why am I missing? Why am I struggling with, you know, why do I keep doing this? Why do I keep 3 putts? Dreadful questions. What we want is for the questions that you ask to create images in your brain that are useful to you.
Perfect.
So, maybe the fundamental question in putting that we talk a lot about in the book is if you were actually to look at a putt and you ask yourself the question, what does this ball need to do to go in the hole? Now, it might sound ridiculously simple, but if you think about it, what does this ball have to do to go in the hole? What does your brain have to do to answer the question? It probably has to come up with an image of the line and probably the pace.
It has to do everything, doesn't it? It has to visualize, it has to figure out the break, it has to do everything. And this is something which, just expanding it outside of putting, you know, this is something that in the full swing and everything else, this is just something golfers do not do. And I think it's just it's a fascinating thing where you just don't ask yourself.
You just don't ask good questions. You know, people say to me, you know, what's the mental game all about? And it all gets very confusing and I can't visualize or I don't visualize and all this stuff. And they think that's what the mental game is. And I just say, well, let's start. Could you possibly ask yourself a good question on every putt? I think you probably could.
Yeah, 100%.
You know, now if I ask the question, what does this ball need to do to go in the hole? And I create a very rich image of what the ball has to do to go in the hole, chances are then that my body can organize a movement around that image. You know, will that guarantee that it's going to go in? No. The other thing, you know, we're always told the mental game, focus on one shot at a time, be in the moment. I mean, what nonsense is that? It doesn't mean anything. But actually, if you ask good questions, it brings you to the task. It brings you to what you're actually trying to achieve.
Yeah, I love it, absolutely love it. And guys, with these videos, if there's one thing, just one thing that I want you to take away amongst all this plethora of really good information, it is that. You know, the questions and the quality questions that you ask yourself are so important. And what we're going to do now is we're actually going to be asking how likely it is that you can hole putts, even if you do ask yourself the right questions, by looking at the best players in the world and the actual percentage rate of putts that they make. 5 balls up here at 6 foot increments, and we're going to go down this, try and hole as many as we can, and actually just talk about what percentage of putts are made from these distances. So, Karl, over 6 foot.
Just on that, I think it's worth mentioning that you know, we're hitting the nail right on the head here in the sense that what do we watch on TV all the time?
Oh.
What is the editor showing? What's the director showing? Oh, we'll just cut to somebody on 12 and they're just holding a 30-foot or whatever. And the perception is people watching golf on TV that good players are holding putts all over the place.
Yeah.
Well, the PGA Tour stats that we've got suggest otherwise. And we've got to remember when we're looking at this, this is the stats for the best in the world.
Yeah. Best players
These
in
are
the
the best
world.
players on the planet.
Absolutely. So, you know, maybe don't beat yourself up too much. So, 6 foot. What's my percentage make here, Carl? What are we asking? What are we
Percentage
expecting?
mate from 6 foot, according to the PGA Tour putt conversion percentages, is 65%. So you should, according to the statistics, hole this, Pete.
Okay, here we go. No pressure, 65%. Might do the crocodile grip.
So 35%. But what did we say earlier on about reaction? The very fact that, you know, even the best players in the world miss 35% of those. We've got to give ourselves a break.
Carl, I'm
You know,
devastated.
one of the things I suggest people need to be with golf is be an awful lot harder on yourself in practice,
Yeah.
but be a lot easier on yourself on the golf course.
Yeah, so-
Because most people do it the other way around. They practice in a way that's got no resemblance to the game, and then they wonder why they can't take it on the golf course, but then they get really beat themselves up when they actually get out here. Statistics tell you that will happen.
Okay, it's fine. I'm moving on.
We'll move on.
I'll tell myself a good
It's
story.
history.
Tell myself a good
It's gone.
story. 12 foot, Carl, what's my chances?
30%.
30%.
Drops off a cliff.
30%, okay. Come on. 30%. Be a 30%er. That's all you want to be.
Oh, you see? You just wanted to be one of the exceptional ones.
I mean, listen, 6 foot and under, who cares? Like, you don't get glory for that.
But here's the paradox of a lot of this. If you get away from thinking that you're going to hole everything, actually expecting to hole everything, all of a sudden it frees things
Yeah.
up. You actually get more into creating each individual putt.
100%. It's something that I've done actually this year when I've been playing, is actually raise my expectations in my practice to
Yeah.
really try and work as hard as I can and try and get better.
Yeah.
But actually when I go play, if
Give
I miss
yourself
putt,
a break. Give
miss a
yourself a break. If you've
the
done
way
your
it is.
practice and you've done your training, I actually prefer to call it training these days. You know, in other sports, you train for the sport. In golf, we stand on a field and bash it into a great blue yonder and then wonder why we can't transfer it. So I won't be able to really get the idea of training for golf rather than just practicing.
training, I like it. 18 feet, what have we got?
18 feet, we're roughly around about, well, 14%.
14%. 14%. I'm kind of fancying it now, though. Tell
You're
myself
freed
these. Tell myself these good stories. 14%. Hold on. I'm not in the 14%. I'm not in the 14%.
You backed up the statistics there.
Okay.
What are we on now?
What are we on now? 18, 24.
24. Roughly, we're getting close to single-digit percentage chances here. We're around about 10%, but let's see what happens.
Okay. Oh, it's just drifted away. Oh,
Tap in range though.
brutal. What are we on percentage-wise? This must be single figures now.
We're down now, so we're at what, 4%.
4%. Right, 4%. So I'm not in the 65%. Can I be in the 4%? 4%, 4%, be the 4%. Not with that putt. Oh my word, I've almost knocked the other camera
Hand
over.
explosion there. We've got an opportunity with the next one, if nothing else. We need the crocodile back.
If you've seen the last video, guys, it's all about the crocodile grip. It's all about the grip.
But I think, seriously, looking at that, it's, as you said earlier on, it's so important that we understand how negative expectations can be if they're overly optimistic.
Yeah.
You know, we're not saying don't go out with the idea that you can hold putts. One of the questions that we talk about in the book, is it possible to hold a putt? Yes, it is. But actually, if you've done everything that you can prior to hitting the putt and it misses, you've done your bit.
Absolutely.
Let's move on.
Absolutely. So, Karl, that was absolutely
Thank you
awesome,
very much, mate. Really
awesome.
enjoyed
And really interesting as well about that percentage of putts and about those questions. You know, are you doing this within your game, guys? Make sure that you comment below and like that video for a chance to win a copy of the book, which Karl has kindly donated. Remember, you can watch all the videos all at one time by clicking the playlist in the description or by clicking this link here above. Make sure you subscribe to the channel if you haven't already, and follow me and Karl on our social media, which is all linked in the description below. And we will see you down here at Stockport next time.